They are predicting that 40% of women will be single by the year 2030. And don't come for me because these are scientific studies. As in single, never been married, and never had kids. And honestly, I am not even surprised by this study at all. We have normalized hookup culture, and most people are on dating apps just for an ego boost and not to find actual love. Let's not forget how social media has truly made a negative impact in the dating world. So what are your guys' thoughts and opinions on this? Do you think this is actually going to happen? Do you think it's true? And yeah, what are your thoughts?
Recently, I've been hearing a lot of buzz around the 2019 Morgan Stanley study that predicts 45% of women between the ages of 25 to 44 will be single and childless by 2030. We're at 41% in 2018, so it's expected that more and more women will be single and childless as the years roll on. I was first introduced to this data last week via TikTok. I wish I had the original video, but I scrolled past it quickly in a panic. My first reaction was, wow, I'm gonna be single forever. I kind of felt bad for myself for a second. I thought, such a shame. What a sad, companionless life I'll live. When I actually began imagining myself alone in my 30s, I was struck with an overwhelming sense of relief. I can stop putting so much pressure on myself to figure out my career today, right now. I can stop telling myself I'm a lazy piece of shit for not having everything, my career, a relationship, a plan figured out today, right now. According to Morgan, I got no kids to worry about for a minute. As long as I can afford to go on the seemingly few bachelorette trips to Mexico that are going to happen, I'm Gucci. I can stop putting so much pressure on myself to make a lot of money, travel the world, and do everything I want to do in the next 3 years before I turn 30. What it sounds like Morgan is trying to tell us is that the girls are going to be having Dua Lipa summers for the next solid decade. What is a Dua Lipa summer, you ask? Okay, you know how Dua Lipa is always on vacation? She's with a big group of friends, other hot girls, seemingly some gays, seemingly some straight guys. Everyone's stylish, wearing one-of-a-kind string bikinis paired with rock-hard abs. They make delicious home-cooked meals at their shared estate, smoke cigarettes by the pool, and have moonlit photo shoots. That's gonna be us. Maybe not right now. Maybe not this summer. Maybe not even next summer. But we're going to stack our bread. Save up for that stud bag in the vintage Chanel sunglasses and the blue marine sheer dress. I might be single and childless, but I will be the best dressed at the handful of friends' weddings. Invite me. I'll be the Dua Lipa of honor. The Google AI overview revealed to me that no, Morgan Stanley is not actually a person. Morgan Stanley was started by Henry Morgan, JP's grandson, the JP, and Harold Stanley, some other guy. So while I can't thank Morgan for giving me this peace of mind, I can thank finance as a whole for bringing us something new to aspire to. The many single and childless Dua Lipa summers ahead.
I hope you've got the kind of money Dua Lipa has for those vacations you're planning. Morgan Stanley didn't say anything we haven't been preaching for years. Most women will be single because of their idea of not settling, because they keep believing they're the prize. And it's not just their choice. The system also pushes men away from marriage. Current laws make getting married a huge financial risk. Divorces where the man loses his house, half of everything he's earned, and ends up paying alimony for life. A lot of guys have already seen it firsthand. Fathers, brothers, friends going broke. That's why men would rather not play that game. So by 2030, enjoy your cats and the wall, because the wall doesn't forgive.
If you're the nice guy that keeps watching the girl you like get attached to toxic men, you might want to listen up. Today, we're talking about why women love toxic men. Whew, I'm gonna need it. Now, the obvious is that we want to change them. Think of that one thing you were never able to achieve in life. And remember how it felt so good when you finally succeeded? That's why. We want the experience of successfully attaining that thing we couldn't get. When something isn't easy to get, we want it more. Next, usually we feel bad for them. It's not so easy to leave them when we become so invested in their story. Usually this story involves some level of loneliness, and we feel like if we leave them, even though they'll run straight to the next girl, at the end of the day, they'll wind up alone. And the thought of that makes us feel guilty. We like the intensity. Healthy relationships don't have those same intense feelings of toxic relationships. There's no peaks and valleys. It's pretty stable. Although there are low lows in a toxic relationship, the dopamine during those highs becomes addicting. We don't feel like we can get anyone else. Usually that feeling becomes more prevalent the longer you're with a toxic guy. You can't imagine yourself starting over. And the thought of being alone is really scary. And that person has convinced us that they're great, and we believe it. Although it's frustrating to watch people you care about winds up in this cycle, if you're a non-toxic guy watching this, there's hope. This cycle doesn't last forever, and I'm an example of that. You eventually hit an exhaustion point of no return. And although there's a lot of healing to be done after the fact, the good guy always wins.
Stop it. Get some help.
Every woman loves going through a toxic guy, and some don't stop at just one, but go through several. It's true. They love the emotional roller coaster, the type of guy who showers them with love one day and knocks them off their cloud the next. Why does it work? Because women hate comfort. Most of them, when they're in a stable relationship with no drama, get bored. They need those dopamine hits from time to time. That's why men are sometimes advised not just to do things, but to act. Act like they might be unfaithful, dress well to go out with friends, have a night out, and come home late. Not let themselves be controlled. Sure, you can be loving, but you have to give her a dose of drama. Because they need it, to know they can't control you. That's what makes them treat you better, because they don't want to lose their man.
My 30-something-year-old women who don't have kids yet, but you want kids, but you feel like you're running out of time to have them. Where are you? Because same. And I just feel, I'm 32, and I just feel like I'm in this place in my life right now where I'm a little selfish. I just moved out and bought my house in December with my boyfriend, and I just feel like I want kids eventually. Like, I definitely want children, but I don't want them right now. But then I'm like, am I getting too old? Like, do I need to get a move on? I'm not married yet. I would like to be married before I have my kids. Like, I just feel like there's so much to do, and like, I'm running out of time. So, and every time I see my aunt, she asks me when I'm freezing my eggs. So that doesn't help. But like, I don't know. I'm just not ready. I'm still like, I feel like I still have never even had like my dream body yet. I don't want to get pregnant yet. I'm still trying to get fit and like in shape. And like, my friend brought her baby over last week, and it was me and my sister and our friend. And I was like, holy shit, like, you have a baby and then you just have to bring the baby everywhere. Like, I know that sounds probably stupid to some people, but I don't know. Like, I love being able to just like leave the house in the morning and go to Pilates or go meet up with my friends, or, you know, it's like a selfish era, I guess. And I know once I have kids, I will love them and want to spend time with them, and it won't feel like right now I always complain about the dogs. I'm like, I fucking hate feeding the dogs. You know, the dogs are a pain in the ass, but you know, I know children are different. But like, I don't know, can anyone relate? Like, 32, definitely want kids someday, just don't want them right now, but like, when's it too late? I don't know.
Women like this don't understand two things. When you have a child, even if you have the freedom to go out with your friends or spend a night away, you're not going to want to. Not because your husband can't take care of the kid, but because you won't want to. Your priorities change, and you'll want to do mom things. The other thing is how demonized motherhood has become. It's like she thinks her world will end after having a child, when it's actually the opposite. First of all, you're already 32. Your biological clock is behind. You've got a husband. You should take advantage of that and give him a child. I don't get why they're so obsessed with getting married first. Another thing, you're running out of time, and instead of seizing your opportunity, you're wasting it. Because if you keep waiting and then can't give that man a child, you know he's going to leave. But they don't listen to advice, brothers.
Women.
I've seen that statistic that women over 30 have a 50% chance of getting married. Now, that is an interesting statistic, because what I think it's really saying is, once you get past 30, Only 50% of women are interested in men anymore. That's what it is. It's like, you know what? Once you're 30, you've got your money, you've got your career, you've got your car, you've got a house, you're doing your thing, and you realize, unless a man is genuinely nice to me, what good is he doing? What good is he doing around here? Why do I need a man again? For what? For what? So once women get to their 30s, they realize how much they are capable of doing on their own, how great their life can be single. And the interest from women goes down. That's what it is. Because I'm telling you, I'm getting a lot of men confused in my comments and in my DMs about what exactly I'm trying to say when I'm making it clear that I'm single and child-free and like in my 30s. That's not an advertisement for you to date me. It's not. I don't want to date you. Definitely not if you're commenting on my posts being like, I'm a single dad, I'm 33, my condolences. My condolences to you. Sorry to hear that, but that's got nothing to do with me, and it never will. Numbers don't lie, but you can absolutely manipulate them to fit your narrative. So anytime you hear a number, you gotta think about that statistic. What else could that be saying? What other reasons could explain why that number is the way it is? Gotta put your thinking caps on for that one.
She says that by 30, women don't need a man because they've got a car, a career, and a house. What they don't talk about is the other side of the story. Most of those women are also buried in debt, student loans, mortgages, credit cards, even car payments. And a lot of them end up back at their parents' house because they can't afford to live on their own. Most men in their 30s are looking for younger women. A man who hits his 30s with his life in order isn't looking for a woman drowning in bills. He doesn't want a liability. He wants someone who adds value. And that's the issue. Aside from the fact that their biological clock is already working against them, a lot of these women aren't an asset. They're a burden. So don't expect a man to be your lifeline.
Something I learned from my toxic relationship, and one of the worst things a man can do to you, is future fake you. When a man messes up and they betray you, they will come back and make you false promises and into the future saying, oh, I'm going to change, I'm going to go to therapy, or I'm going to change and things are going to get better. And the future looks bright for us because I'm going to propose to you in a year, or we're going to have a baby. And that's what future faking is. And future faking is actually transactional because they're making you a false promise, a promise that you pretty much wanted. And they say, okay, I'm going to make you this false promise, but you stay in the relationship. So then you get stuck. And that's what happened with me in my last relationship. My ex would make me false promises. He betrayed me and hurt me. And then he came back and apologized and said that he was going to change, that he was going to go to therapy, and that he was not going to drink anymore. And when I would ask him, like, hey, you said you were going to go to therapy this month, and he never went. And he would be like, oh, sorry, it's next month, the enrollment's next month. And he kept on making all of these excuses. And so that's what future faking is. It's a false promise to keep you stuck in the relationship when nothing's ever going to change.
I want you to notice that she gave the toxic guy more than one chance. He kept promising he'd change, and she kept believing him. Then she says she doesn't like bad guys, but you watch how he fools her over and over, and she keeps going back to him. Most men don't manipulate the way women do. They don't go out of their way to hurt you like a woman does. It's just that women fool themselves with the lie they like the most. You could have left him, but you kept going back because deep down, you wanted to be there. Once you take a little responsibility for the situation, you realize you like that man, and you believed everything he said just to keep being with him. Brother, responsibility is kryptonite to women.
An asset, he's a liability. We live in a day and age where having a man in your life is not a necessity, it's a luxury. If you want to have a man in your life, that's your prerogative, but you need to be very careful about who you choose as a boyfriend or as a husband. If you choose the wrong person, it is going to hold you back tremendously. I can't tell you how many times I've seen women who are successful and thriving in their lives incorporate a man in their lives and in turn are held back. They are bogged down by stress, they are bogged down by drama, and that relationship sabotages their success. Having a boyfriend is not a flex, and not having a boyfriend does not reflect poorly on you. Not having a boyfriend or husband reflects positively on you in today's day and age because it shows that you have high standards for yourself. Having a thriving career, having a thriving friend group, having things that interest me, having hobbies that I'm passionate about,
have resulted in me being happier in my life overall than any relationship ever has. The idea that you need a relationship to be happy is such an antiquated idea. You absolutely do not. You need to be very, very selective on what kind of man you allow into your life and next to you. If that man fuels you, if he supports you, if he's your number one cheerleader, then fantastic. You're probably better off with him in your life. If he takes away from you, if he causes drama in your life, if he causes emotional distress in your life, if he's just another thing for you to manage, you are playing yourself, and you will be much better off without him in your life. You will be much better off single. This is a time in history where women are thriving, and you can be a part of that. If you feel like you need to have a man in your life to be happy or to have a sense of self, it's very important that you reflect on that and you grow through that. In spite of everything that's happening, this is the best time in history to be a woman. We need to keep marching forward. We need to keep establishing ourselves in these positions of power. And you cannot do that if you are managing a man-child.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Is living a life based on a lie. And she's looking worse by the day. The years are starting to show. She demonizes everything about men, acting like any woman who gets involved with a man is guaranteed to end up miserable, when that's just not the case in most situations. I've seen and been with women who, on the outside, look successful, but behind the scenes, their finances are a mess. No stability, drowning in debt, living in constant stress, until they find a man who brings order to their life. So in that case, which is actually the norm, who's the real burden? Another thing, she assumes that every woman who stays single is successful, when in reality, more women today are living in poverty than ever before. There are more homeless and broke women now than in the 1980s. How is that possible, in what's supposed to be the best time in history to be a woman? How is it that so many are more exhausted, taking more antidepressants, going to therapy more often, and are the top holders of credit card and student loan debt in the country? Is that what she calls their peak? The wall keeps collecting victims, because the wall doesn't forgive. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, the questions are for you. Why do you think we're getting closer and closer to what the Morgan Stanley study predicted? Do you think modern women are better off today than in the past? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from the wall.